Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today on this video I'm going to talk about loop, JavaScript loop. What's loops for? Loops can execute block code a number of times, and it comes in handy when you want to run the same code over again with different value each time. And it used in JavaScript to perform repeated tasks based on a condition. So on this video I'm going to give an example or talk about three kind of loops, which are: the first one is loop for, and then the second one is loop while, and the third one is loop do while. Okay, first let's do a loop while. This is the syntaxes for the loop while. Loop for. The first one is loop for, and that is the syntax for the loop for. First, let's make a function. This one is for loop for. Function. This loop for bracket and parenthesis. First, we're going to try looping what we call it, a number, on console log. The example is, the syntax is, the first one is initialization, and then semicolon condition, semicolon final expression, and then close the bracket, open braces, and then inside that is a code block that will be looped or to be executed. And what are those expressions? First, the initializations is to give an expressions. These expressions will run before the execution of the first loop. And then after that is the conditions. These expressions is checked each time before the loops run. If it evaluates as a true value, the code will be executed. If it false, the loop will stop. And then there's the final expressions. These expressions will be executed after each iteration of the loop. It could be increment or decrement, a counter. So what does that mean? Okay, let me give you an example first. Okay, first let's try for parenthesis. And then this condition is I less than 10, so it will loop until the I value is less than 10. And then this is the final expression, I plus plus, which means I increment. Then parenthesis, console. Sorry, my keyboard. This is the code that I will run. I'm using a console. we will run console log I. Okay, and let's right on click loop for. Okay, let's run this web. Where's the console? Okay, yes, like that. Even though it ends on 9, it already loop 10 times, right? 0 to 9. The condition is I less than 10, so it will end on 9. Something like that. Okay, that is for the loop for the first loop type, loop for. Next, move on to loop while. Let's make a function loop while. Bracket, parenthesis, and for the loop while, the syntax will look like this: while, and then inside this bracket there's conditions, and then this braces there's the code or statement, whatever you call it. Let's call the variable first. For e equals to 0, and then while e less than 10, 10, and then open braces, console.log I, and then I plus plus. Let's change this button first. It will look like this. And what's the difference between loop for and loop while? Well, it actually, for loop while it starts by evaluating the conditions first, and then if the condition value is true, the code will be executed. If it false, then the code is not executed and the loops will end. That's for the loop while. And then move on to loop do while. This is the syntaxes: do, braces, and then the code, and then close the braces, and then while, and parentheses, inside is the conditions, and then semicolon. Okay, let's give an example. Loop do while. Loop do while, the conditions is checked in the end, different than the while before. The conditions is checked at the end of each iteration of the loop, rather than at the beginning before the loop, like the while. The conditions first, but in do while it's do first, then the conditions will be last. And the difference is between do while and while is that it means that it guaranteed to run the loop at least once. Okay, make the function loop do while. Okay, I'll give you for e equals to 0. Then do parentheses. What will you do? What will it do? Console.log. It's I. And I plus plus. Then after is while. While e is less than 10. And then let's make this like, so rename this on click button to while, and then run till right. It's the same thing. Then if there's a question, what's the difference between these three types of loop, it actually pretty much the same. It's just what you tend to use, which one is more suitable for you. Let's at the end, at last, let's do a mini like challenge using loop do while, right? Mini challenge. Let's do what we are going to make like this, but it will show us number and then dot and then space and then name. So we're going to give a name textual variable in it, so it will look like this. Mini, let's call the function mini. Okay, first we're going to make the variable, let's call it name. Then we use this block parenthesis. The first data was, let's say, Adrian, and then Bob, and then Clark, and then Dean, and then Esther, and then Freya. But this is an example. Then for e equals to 0. So we're going to use a do while on this mini challenge. Console.log. We're going to print it on the console. It will look like this: e plus. First we're going to make this dot, so it will show us a dot and then a space, given a space as well, and then plus this name name, and then the value as e, and semicolon e plus plus, because we're going to make this as an increment. Okay, while the condition, we're going to give the condition as long as the e is less than, so we're going to make this as number and then the name, not further than that. So it would only, the length will only as long as the name still exists, so the code will look like this: name dot length. Yes. Okay, let's change the function on the button. Mini. Okay, let's try. That is true, but number, I want to make this as the first number will be 1, will shown as 1. So on the console of this, we are going to make this to add up plus 1. Okay, let's check. Okay, that's it. It's done. Okay, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much and see ya.